Hi, this is the fellow passenger. Do you know this melody? Not a perfect replica, but you might still recognize it. And we're going to talk about this melody in a second. But first, I would like to say a big thank you to Greg Wilson and Fernason. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but I hope that's okay. Thank you for signing up to the mid-tier of my Patreon. In case you were not familiar with that melody that you just heard, that is Theme from Ernest Borgnine by Squarepusher on the album Feed Me Weird Things. I'm not a big fan of trying to meticulously recreate someone else's work because the best it can be is sort of second best, and that is not super exciting. So the reason why I have tried to replicate this is because I think this is a really strong melody and I want to understand how it's being put together so I can become better at writing strong melodies. I have to say, as a little caveat, I am not sure I have got this 100% correct. I think the notes are. I feel fairly certain the notes are, but I am not sure I got the held notes all correct. So I recreated this melody by watching someone punching it in on their Roland SH-101, trying to see what they were doing in the video and replicating it here. I haven't spent a huge amount of time to replicate the exact sound. I just used an analog and a reverb to sort of just create that washy sound. I will put the link to the SH-101 video in the description, but let's have a little look at this melody. I'm going to play it again. So one of the things I wanted to work out is like what scale and key is this in? And by just chancing it a bit, I took the first note that is being played, assuming that is going to be the root note, and that is the G sharp. And I thought like, okay, a lot of the scales that the scale that a lot of the artists were using on the Warp record label at the time, it seems to be popular to use the D sharp minor scale, which is the black keys, but it was clearly using some white keys, but it's not the G sharp pentatonic minor either. It's actually the G sharp major scales. If I turn that on, you can see that all these notes are fitting in that scale. So this is obviously a melody that, in my opinion, works quite well. It's very recognizable. It fits in with the genre. And if you've heard this track before and you're familiar with it, it's just such a fingerprint. It's just no doubt which one it is. It doesn't disappear in the masses of music that are out there in the same way. And we're going to look at some techniques. It was going to be a bit of an experiment because I'm not even sure I'm going to maybe be able to work this out either. But if you follow along, we can see what we can do. Because I've heard some theories that if you take a famous melody or a melody that it's existing that you think work, you take that and then you write a new, let's say, a bass line for it that works with that melody that you like so much. You create a bass line that feels like it works, and then you remove the original melody. So you have your new bass line and then you write a new melody on top. And in theory, you're going to get something that's going to sound decent. So that's one thing I would like to try. But before we do that, I just want to try something a bit quicker, which is the built-in things in Ableton that are these, the reverse and invert. And if we select the all the notes here, and then we choose to reverse it, we're going to get something that hopefully feels similar, but it's still in the same scale. Let's see what that sounds like. It sort of works quite well, but for the sake of argument, let's try something. I think having the higher notes at the beginning feels strange to me, so I'm going to hold Shift and then press the down arrow on my keyboard to bring it down a couple of octaves. That all of a sudden hangs together a bit more, but it's missing that iconic high notes at the end. But let's just see here. Let's try to take the last few notes, maybe it's just these ones, and then we put them up 2 octaves. Interesting, it works quite well, but let's revert back to the original again, which I would argue sounds better. Whether that is because I'm more familiar with it, I don't know. The other thing we're going to try is to invert it. That's basically turning it upside down, so these held notes that you have here, they're going to be the high notes and vice versa. Boom. That's upside down. The thing that happens is when you turn that upside down, that will change the scale and possibly the key. So if you look here, there is a bunch of notes now that are outside the scale. There are 2 things you can do now. You can either select those notes and then move them. Let's do that. That's a little bit more work, but we're just moving them to sort of the nearest in the scale. So let's push these down. So we're still keeping the scale, but this is going to alter the melody that's playing quite a bit. Let's see if that is going to work. We move these up. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's it. Missing one there. And one here. Don't know, I thought that worked less well than the original melody. So let's go back again to our original. Turn scale on again and then do invert. But we don't nudge any notes. We work out which scale this is in instead. So now if we say that the first note you're playing is the root note, that would make this the E. So let's change that to E. And I was playing around with this before and worked out it's not the E major scale. It's actually, I think it fits in the E Phrygian scale. Now all the notes are in here. So we haven't, the only thing we've done now, basically, we just inverted it. We have identified the scale, but we haven't moved any other notes around. So let's see what that sounds like. I think let's move that up so we don't get those low notes. And now it's getting very trebly, so let's move everything down 1 octave. So that's some of the quick ways. You can obviously combine and do reverse and invert, or you can just do a section that you reverse another. So every 2 sections, I'm just going to try that, and reverse. And these ones we invert. And I have no idea what scale this is going to be in, but then I have no idea what it's going to sound like. But let's just hear it. That sounded like absolute tosh. So let's not do that. Let's go back to our original melody again. And let's just turn down that reverb a bit, because otherwise I will be drowned out by it. Let's now just try that trick of writing a new bass line for this. I have not even tried this out before making this video, so I am not sure how that's going to work. Let's take another analog. Whoop. And let's make a little bass sound. I'm just going to turn this. That will do. That reverb. I don't want to wait for that tail. Okay, we already got that because we've chosen it for the other track. The scale is already enabled here. So let's see if we can just make a... If I do that, can I do that? No, let's... We see that this is a 4-bar loop. So we make the bass line 4 bars as well. Let's just go in here. And we know that this is G sharp. So we can see, I'm just going to try something. Let's turn that down a few octaves. That sounds better. Can we make this bass line a bit more dynamic somehow? And set this to mono. So we now made a bass line in the same scale. I don't know, it's not the best bass line I've ever made, but it's okay. It's okay. So let's now try and make a new melody. I want to still take some inspiration from the original melody and just work out what is actually going on here. First bar, down, down, down. Long notes, the lower ones are held for longer. The second one is going up, and the third one is going up and then down, and the last one is going down then up. And how many notes are there roughly in each bar? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So about 7 notes per bar. So let's see if we can just like borrow that as a concept. Let's copy that. We keep the same sound for now. We can pick a different one. So we mute our original one. So if we do one that goes down, up, then up, down, and then down, up. It's about 7 notes. So if we do start at the G sharp, down, maybe we can do the other way around. So we do up, then down, up, up. We just keep the same types, but we just do them in a different order. say up. First one is down. There is a little rogue one that's sort of in between there. So then we do up, down. Should we do up, up here maybe? And then another one which is using the next one up. How many notes have we got? Yeah, it's about 7. And should this be the down, down one maybe? Doom, doom, doom. Boom. So this is the down, down one. Maybe there. And then they should be the down, up, I think. Boom. And this one can go really high. Highest of them all, maybe. Let's pick a different sound just so we get a different feel. We can do the operator maybe. Sorry. Just a little bit of quick sound design. Velocity should not affect the volume on the first operator. The second one, operator B, just set to have a bit of random velocity here. Drag those down, but velocity range we drag up, and then we go into the... Oh, sorry. Am I doing the... I did the wrong thing here. It's this one where we want to do the velocity. I don't think it's affecting anything on the analog one, so I'm going to leave random velocity there here. And we can set velocity here also to affect the time, which will change all the envelopes. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. It was just a little exercise to look into writing melodies, and maybe it can bring you some ideas. Your ongoing support is worth loads to me. Thank you, everyone who signed up in the last couple of months. That has been such a boost to my confidence. And I hope there's going to be loads of really interesting videos coming in the next year. If you decide to sign up, you will be able to download this project file. It's only using Ableton native stuff. So if you have an Ableton 11.3 sweet, you'll be fine. You'll be able to run this. You might be able to open it in an earlier version. I'm not 100% sure. But otherwise, whatever DAW you're using, you should be able to use this technique. Thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you soon in the new year. Bye.